Power isn't just given, it's taken. And for Mehmed III, his path to the throne was paved with blood. A young sultan, haunted by the shadows of his own family, forced to make choices that would define him forever. And one of those choices was the death of 19 of his own brothers. A massacre in the name of survival, the most infamous fratricide in Ottoman history. His reign saw triumphs on the battlefield, but it was the tragedy within the palace walls that marked his legacy. Mehmed III is a warrior ruler and a man consumed by the darkest Ottoman tradition. This is his story: power, betrayal, and tragedy. Today we dive into the life of Mehmed III, one of the most controversial sultans of the Ottoman Empire. Mehmed III was born in 1566 to Sultan Murad III and his powerful consort, Safiya Sultan. His reign would go down in history for both military triumphs and infamous family tragedy. Growing up in the harem, Mehmed lived a life of luxury, but behind the palace walls, there was a darker side. The Ottoman Empire was already a global superpower, but internally, the court was a battlefield of politics and intrigue. Mehmed's mother, Safiya Sultan, played a key role in the politics of the empire. She wielded immense influence and ensured her son would one day sit on the throne. But it wasn't an easy path. As Mehmed grew older, he saw the impact of power up close. His father, Sultan Murad III, died in 1595, and Mehmed became the 13th Sultan of the empire. But his accession to the throne came with a horrifying tradition, one that would stain his legacy forever. In the twilight of his father's death, Mehmed III ascended to the throne in 1595. But with his newfound power came an ancient, brutal tradition that haunted every new sultan: fratricide. Imagine, you are Mehmed III, the weight of an empire on your shoulders. You've just become the most powerful man in the Ottoman world. But you know what must come next. It's not a coronation, it's not a celebration, it's the elimination of your bloodline. The brothers of Mehmed III, 19 in total, were all potential rivals to the throne. In the chaotic politics of the Ottoman Empire, any of them could be used as pawns in a rebellion. The law of fratricide, introduced generations before, dictated that these brothers must die to secure the stability of the empire. That night, the order was given. Eunuchs, trained in the art of silent death, moved through the palace like shadows, their footsteps muffled by thick carpets. The brothers of Mehmed, many still children, had been confined to the caves, a secluded part of the palace where they lived in isolation. The younger brothers didn't understand. How could they? Some were too young to even know of the deadly politics swirling around them. But for the eunuchs, there was no room for hesitation. They had one purpose: to ensure the survival of the Sultan by carrying out these unspeakable acts. Imagine the scene. Brothers, some awake, others still asleep, pulled from their beds. No screams, no cries, just silence. If you're captivated by stories like this, don't forget to subscribe to Ancient Perspectives for more epic tales of history's greatest figures and moments. Hit the bell icon to never miss an adventure into the past. It was said that Mehmed himself couldn't bear to watch, instead staying in his chambers as his brothers' lives were extinguished one by one. By the end of the night, 19 bodies lay cold, 19 of his own blood. In the eyes of the empire, Mehmed III had secured his throne, but at what cost? This was a rite of passage for sultans, but for Mehmed, it would be a shadow that lingered throughout his reign. Historians debate whether Mehmed III was driven by the cold necessity of power, or whether the decision broke something inside him. This was a man who inherited an empire, but it's said he also inherited a curse: the ghosts of the brothers he sacrificed for stability. This act of fratricide, though not uncommon in Ottoman history, remains one of the most infamous. It was an event that would define Mehmed's legacy as both a necessary evil and a haunting tragedy. Though Mehmed's reign was marked by internal strife, he achieved military victories that secured the empire's dominance. The most significant of these was the Battle of Carestaz in 1596. The Ottomans were locked in battle with the Habsburgs in Hungary. Mehmed, inexperienced in warfare, relied heavily on his Grand Vizier, Sigalizad Sinan Pasha. At the Battle of Carestaz, the Ottomans seemed on the brink of defeat, but they miraculously turned the tide and secured a crucial victory. But despite this success, Mehmed did not share his predecessor's passion for leading troops in person. Unlike the warrior sultans before him, Mehmed ruled from the safety of his palace, leaving military affairs largely to his generals. Although Mehmed III won battles abroad, his empire faced growing internal challenges. Corruption within the court and economic instability were on the rise. The political influence of his mother, Safiya Sultan, also caused tension. Many of the empire's ministers believed that the Sultan was being controlled by the women of the harem. The end of Mehmed III's reign saw the Ottomans struggling to maintain their vast territories. Rebellions in the provinces, including Egypt and Anatolia, were becoming more frequent, signaling that the once unshakable Ottoman power was beginning to falter. In 1603, After an 8-year reign, Mehmed III died at the age of 37. His time as Sultan was brief but filled with both triumph and tragedy. Mehmed's legacy remains complex. He was a ruler who won significant military victories, but his name is often remembered for the fratricide that began his reign. The palace still stands, but within its walls, echoes of the past linger. The decision Mehmed made that night secured his reign, but it left behind a legacy of sorrow. So, what do you think of Mehmed III's reign? A story of power and loss, war and shadow. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Remember to like, subscribe and hit the bell for more deep dives into history's most fascinating figures. If you're captivated by stories like this, don't forget to subscribe to Ancient Perspectives for more epic tales of history's greatest figures and moments. Hit the bell icon to never miss an adventure into the past.